folks, Ed Scotus here. I am the director of the SANS Holiday Hack Challenge. I'm also the president of the SANS Technology Institute College, and I would like to talk with you about the SANS Holiday Hack Challenge. Every year we launch this the second week of December, and we're super excited about Holiday Hack Challenge 2022. Now, people ask me, what is Holiday Hack Challenge? It's many things, but primarily it's a set of holiday-themed cybersecurity challenges that range from very introductory, very new to cyber, all the way to some of the most complex and sophisticated challenges that you can face today. And they're all based on real-world cybersecurity skills that people need right now. So it's a set of great challenges available for free for you to learn. But in addition to that, it's also a virtual world. It's set up at the North Pole, and you get to interact with Santa. You get to interact with all the elves. You get to have a lot of fun doing that. It's also kind of social in that you can interact with other participants if you want. There's an in-game chat. There's also a Discord channel where you can work on challenges together as part of a team if you'd like. So we encourage team play or solo play, whatever you'd like. It's designed for every level of skill, so you really should check it out. In addition to this virtual world and all the great challenges, there's also a free album of holiday music that we commission from various musicians around the world. There's just really cool artwork. It is an extravaganza. It's really a thing made by so many different artisans. I'm talking people who do great poetry and narrative, and people who do incredible character art, incredibly detailed backgrounds, video games, music, and then of course ultimately it comes down to the challenges. So again, second week of December is when it launches. It'll be running through January 6th, 2023. You can find it all at sans.org/holidayhack, and I do hope you'll be joining us for it this year. Again, sans.org/holidayhack. I'll see you there. We've got a really exciting show for you here today. The SANS Holiday Hack Challenge 2022 is about to launch. It's imminent. In fact, when you're watching this, it might be available for you right now. It's at sans.org/holidayhack. If it's still before launch, you can go and practice. But we have some folks here that are very much involved with Holiday Hack, either previous winners or people who have helped build it or people who have played it and just been really, really excited and interested in it. And we'd like to spend some time asking them some questions about their involvement with Holiday Hack Challenge, what it's done for them in their lives and their careers, what they get out of it, with the idea that maybe that'll help you and encourage you to get the most out of this gift that SANS has for the community. So I'd like to start out by asking each of our panelists here, who are you, where are you from, and how did you first get involved with the Holiday Hack Challenge? Why don't we start with Andy Smith?
Cool, thanks, Ed. Hi, folks. My name's Andy Smith. I'm based in London, in the UK. My day job is as a security architect, but I've been playing the Holiday Hack for a number of years now. I think my first Holiday Hack was 2016. I've played every year since. I absolutely love it. I picked up a few of the prizes along the way, and last year was a real special year for me. I presented at KringleCon, the virtual conference associated with the Holiday Hack, and also had one of the challenges I created in the game as well. So really, really love the Holiday Hack.
Well, thank you, Andy. Thanks for giving back to the Holiday Hack community. Your videos that you post online have been tremendous, and then you wrote that challenge last year. You also helped to corral our Kringle concierges that help other people in the game. Thanks for all that stuff. Speaking of Kringle concierges, Brenda, so who are you? Where are you from? And what is your involvement? How did you get involved with Holiday Hack from the start?
Well, I was looking for some content in around about 2018. I was looking for something I could do to just improve my skills in cybersecurity. And as I was surfing the web, I came across the KringleCon hack. And I was actually studying cybersecurity at the time. So I turned to everyone in the class and said, hey, come, let's do this. And some of them were like, nah. And then about 5 minutes later, we got like 6 or 7 of us, and we ended up having a Christmas party. And then everybody got a little upset because they weren't part of it, and they wanted to be part of it. So they ended up having another Christmas party, and the group just got bigger and bigger. And so then every year we've had these sort of Christmas parties around the KringleCon, and we dress up like Santa, and we do all the eggnog, and we've got all our computers, and we just have a lot of fun. It's a big community event for us, bringing everybody together, and doesn't matter your skill level. We all work together, and we just work through the problems, and we improve our skills as we're moving along.
That's great to hear. Hey, Brenda, where are you from?
I'm in Perth, Western Australia, with a very strange accent.
No, your accent sounds wonderful. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. And
Thank
I
you.
liked what you said about people collaborating in Holiday Hack. People can play solo, that's totally fine, or you can play in teams. I know there are many companies that get together in all different fields. I know many government agencies will have groups that play Holiday Hack, and they'll set aside time during a holiday party or maybe during a couple of days. Also, many military organizations around the world participate. So I like, Brenda, how you got involved via that aspect of teaming with other folks. So let's move. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Ed. My angle to it is that, cyber criminals don't work alone. So if we want to improve our skills, we're going to have to learn to collaborate, so that we can learn the skills to protect our community.
Well said. 100% on board. That's great. So let's move next to Jai Minton. Who are you? Where are you from? And how did you first get involved with Holiday Hack?
Hey, Ed. Yeah, pleasure to be here. My name's Jai Minton. I'm from Australia, much like Brenda here. And I got started back in 2018. I used to commute maybe like 45 minutes to get to work. And I used to listen to podcasts back at that time. And I was listening to Paul Asadorian's Security Weekly. I think it was episode 586. And I heard Ed talking about the SANS Holiday Hack Challenge, and specifically how in that particular year they created a hacker conference. You guys created a hacker conference at the North Pole, and I went, all right, what is this? I got to see what this is about. I got to get involved. I got to figure it out. And he mentioned there's 10,000 people that were on this in that previous year. I was like, if there's 10,000 people that are getting involved with this, I got to be one of them. So I got into work, looked it up, signed up, registered, and as soon as it went live with the soft launch, I was hooked. I was into it. And yeah, so that was back in 2018 as well.
I'm so glad you played. You've done such amazing things. Last year, you built that video game out of Holiday Hack themes and such. Really incredible work. And might I comment also, that is a lovely hoodie you're wearing.
It is. Yeah, created by some great people out there.
That's wonderful. All right. So last but certainly not least, Chris Elgie. Who are you? Where are you from? And what was your first involvement with Holiday Hack?
Thanks, Ed. Yeah, I'm Chris. I live in Maine. That's the northeast corner of the U.S. And I first got involved in the Holiday Hack in 2015. I just met these counter hack folks at a National Guard event. They were running something called Cybersecurity, and I thought that was awesome. So I needed to see what else they made. So I checked out this Holiday Hack thing and had a blast with that. So I played Holiday Hack for 3 years and completed the game each time because I found it just so compelling. And then I got hired, and now I'm on the team, and I had the great pleasure of being able to make the Holiday Hack with the rest of the team.
And you've made some great things. In fact, you're one of the lead developers of Holiday Hack over the last few years. So I'm so glad for all of your great work, Chris. Thank you for that. We've been using this word Holiday Hack. I've heard some people mention KringleCon and that kind of stuff. So I'd like to ask this question of a couple of you. What is Holiday Hack Challenge? I mean, we can't assume that all our viewers actually know what it is. Some of them have played before, but we've had up to 19,000 people play, but we want to get more. So from your perspective, maybe go back to Chris Elgie to start this out. What is Holiday Hack Challenge?
So to me, you'll get different answers. To me, Holiday Hack Challenge is a combination of a few things. It is a social event where people interact through the web browser, largely, also through Discord. It is also a skill building event where there are different technical challenges to work through. And it's also a story. It's kind of a video game where you move around in a virtual world and work through a storyline trying to save Christmas.
That's awesome. Thank you, Chris. Hey, Brenda, from your perspective, what is the Sands Holiday Hack Challenge?
I would call it like in a virtual environment where people can come together and choose their avatars as they go through the Santa Village, trying to support Santa in his mission to get rid of the Grinch in some cases. And every step there's little, I guess, golden nuggets where you're testing your cyber skills. And there's nothing more rewarding than working through painstakingly, step by step, trying to work out what the problem is, and at the end of it, able to solve it. And then you get it's sort of like a digital badge, like a tick to say, yes, you've done this. And then, of course, when you walk away, you feel like this real superhero with all these super skills that you want to shout out to the world that you are this mad, crazy hacker that can solve all problems until you get to the next one, which then takes you down a notch because you realize it just gets a little bit more difficult as you get along. But as you get along, you get better as each year you just get better and better. So that's a holiday hack for me and for everybody around me.
That's so good, Brenda. You mentioned people who are new and how it gradually increases in complexity and difficulty, but we do try to put a lot of challenges in there for people who are kind of new to cyber. So,
Yep.
My next question maybe for Jai is, if somebody's brand new to cyber, they want to learn this, they understand it's a great career field, but they don't know how to get started. What advice would you have for them regarding Holiday Hack Challenge and how they could use it, and if they should?
Yeah, for sure. So if they're sitting there and they're asking themselves the question, what don't I know in this industry? Or how do I succeed in this industry? Or I'm not sure what my interests are or where I want to be focusing my learning. I say take part in the Sands Holiday Hack Challenge, because it's got such a breadth of challenges in it that you'll get exposed to a wide range of different areas within the industry. You'll meet new people, you'll face new challenges. It'll solidify and demonstrate your knowledge to others as you go through as well. But it also provides the safe environment to try, fail, learn, and overcome these challenges. And this is what the challenges are all about, a learning process. And really that beats going into something too scared to fail and look dumb. Like, you're there with everyone else. Go in, have fun, have a blast, and learn.
That's an excellent point. Thank you, Jai. And I do note you can play under a pseudonym, right? So it makes it very safe. You just put in a pseudonym, you play through the game. I always tell people, just give us 15 minutes. Hop into the game. I promise you'll get a smile and a laugh. Now, my hope is once they give us 15 minutes, they'll say, this is fun. And then they might give us a half hour or an hour or something like that. There's enough in there for you to explore for a good long time. But with just 15 minutes, you kind of get your feet wet, and it's just kind of fun to get rolling. Andy, let me direct the same question to you. So if somebody's new to cyber, what would you tell them about Holiday Hack and maybe how to prep for it?
So I think Jai kind of hit the head on the nail there. Or rather, I think Jai hit the nail on the head there, in terms of, yes, definitely do it. This is a great learning curve associated with the Holiday Hack, right? There's challenges there that are super, super simple for anyone who has been working in cyber for a number of years. Of course, those same challenges are then a little bit more challenging for someone who is new into cyber, but still we've got a really great community behind the Holiday Hack, right? Particularly through the Discord server. There's so much opportunity for interacting with other people to get hints and tips and to kind of help you along the way, even from those very first more simple challenges all the way through to the really, really quite complicated ones. I mean, every single year, I always learn an absolute ton through the Holiday Hack, through the challenges that it presents. So absolutely, if you're thinking of giving it a go, 100% definitely do. Some tips that can really help is to think about the order of the challenges that new players go in. There's obviously a storyline associated with each year, and I've found it quite helpful to try and follow the challenges in the order of the storyline as much as possible. Just kind of helps things to make a little more sense. Certainly don't take the whole experience too seriously. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be educational. It's meant to be a bit silly, right? So enjoy it. And part of that is knowing when you get horrendously stuck on a problem. Don't worry, we've all been there, right? I don't know if anyone's watched some of the videos that I've made on the holiday hack. It probably looks pretty smooth, right? In terms of, oh, there's no cuts there. But the reality is I've been banging my head against the table just as much as the next person. So when you will get stuck, take a break, chill out, go for a walk, come back, and chances are you suddenly have that neuron fire that will then help with that particular challenge.
That's really cool, Andy. So you mentioned several things there that I'd like to draw people's attention to. One is your videos from past holiday hack challenges. So people can watch those and get an idea of what the world looks like and how the game is played. Especially your first video in each of your series on holiday hack kind of orients people to the world. So that's one little bit of help. You could look at those from the past. But another thing that we talked about earlier was the Kringle concierges. Several of the folks here worked as Kringle concierges. Those are people there in the game and on Discord. Andy mentioned Discord, that kind of help you get oriented to the world. They're not there to tell you how to do the challenges, but they're there to kind of orient you to this virtual world and tell you where things are and such. But I'd like to turn this over to Chris Elgie next. There's also hints available. I'm not talking about working with people on Discord like Andy just mentioned. That's there. But Chris, tell us about the denizens of the game that you can interact with to get more hints on the challenge.
Yeah, so within the virtual world, there will at least be elves, because Santa has elves, right? So there will be characters like them that have problems that need to be solved, and those are the technical challenges. But then they also have some idea of how to approach it, and those for those they give you hints, and it might be something like, hey, check out this website that explains the concept, or it might be, hey, it just so happens that somebody is giving a talk at KringleCon that covers exactly what you need to know. So maybe go check out this YouTube link.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I'd even forgotten about that. So the KringleCon talks themselves, they're just streaming videos. They're in game, but they're also on YouTube, and you can watch those. And sometimes the elves will say, hey, if you want to learn more about this challenge, watch this YouTube video, because we make a series of videos that the challenge developers do that will help you. And we have so many great challenge developers. Andy mentioned he was one last year. Chris has designed so many. We also have a very interesting challenge developer who's actually an elf from the North Pole, Professor QWERTY Petabyte. Professor Petabyte has done challenges the last couple of years, and I understand he's working on a challenge for us this year that I think people will find quite interesting. And he's always, I'm not saying he's a media hog or anything like that, but he's always done a video for us in YouTube. So we'll be looking forward to hearing from Professor Petabyte again. So there you go. Let's move on now. And Brenda, I have this question for you. Of all the different components of Holiday Hack that we've talked about, there's the challenges, there's the video game component, there's the music, there's the Discord channel. There's all those different piece parts. What's your favorite and why? What do you like most about Holiday Hack Challenge, and why?
Besides the community coming together and working together, and it doesn't matter. It's it's a bit like playing golf. You can be a complete newbie to the game or a complete professional, and you're all leveled out by handicap, and you can all have the same amount of fun as you go along. And you all learn as you go along. So the community coming together, just the having fun in a virtual environment, number two. And Ed, I have to say, the music is outstanding. Oh. I love the music. My favorite is, and my family absolutely hates me because I play it all the way through the year. And you get these free downloads. I see Chris laughing. My favorite is the 2019 album. It's still my number one out of all of them. I love the Mary Poppins ones. I think it's called something Califragile.
Supercalifragilistic, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I play that on repeat as I'm working. It drives everyone nuts, but I can tell you what is one of my favorite songs. And just the music behind the scenes, it just puts that bow to that whole experience. And yeah, so people know that you're actually having fun. You got the music playing up full volume. your neighbors know, so they might as well come over and join
Yeah.
you. You know, people know that things are happening, and they either join in and have some fun, or they put headphones on and dull the sound.
That is so cool. Thank you for bringing that up. I want to give people a little glimpse behind the scenes there. So the music that Brenda loves so much is actually made by a bunch of different musicians. One of our main musicians that we work with is named Count Ninjala. He goes by Ninjala for short. What a great musician. He's made the majority of Sans Holiday Hack music. And if you go to your favorite streaming services, whatever they are, the Sans Holiday Hack music is up there. The artist is Sans Holiday Hack. But obviously the artist underneath that would be Ninjala for some of the songs. Mary Ellen Kennel did an amazing rendition of I Wish I Was Santa Claus for us a few years ago. We've had some great work done in the past by Dual Core, the wonderful rap group in the hacker community. We've had work done by Keith Myers in the past, just incredible DJ stuff that he does. My son, Josh Scotus, has made some really fun songs for us over the years. This year, for Holiday Hack 2022, we're going to have, again, some great work by Ninjala. And by the way, if you like Ninjala's work in Holiday Hack, you should hear his other work more generally. He does a lot of great stuff. So Ninjala is going to be back this year. Josh Scotus, my son, is going to be back this year. And I'm happy to announce Mary Ellen Kennel has done another really beautiful song for us. It's going to be gorgeous. I'm getting drafts of it right now. And all of the music, Brenda pointed out that the music in the one that she particularly liked, 2019, was Mary Poppins themed. Because that challenge itself that year had sort of certain tropes and ideas from Mary Poppins. So the music is always kind of themed into the actual challenge itself. And these various musicians from around the world actually kind of collaborate, and we work to create something that really creates a soundscape for you to enjoy and play in. So that was Brenda's favorite thing from Holiday Hack challenges in the past. Let's go to Jai. Jai, so what's your favorite aspect of Holiday Hack?
I'd have to say that my favorite aspect of the Holiday Hack Challenge is that it fuses the three things that I kind of love the most. Not like love the most in general, but like three things that I really love, which would be social gaming aspect, creativity, and cybersecurity related puzzles, right? And it's supported by that community, like you mentioned, of like-minded individuals who just want to see you succeed or want to help you overcome those challenges. And it sort of pushes you to your limits in some regards. There's definitely some challenges out there that you go in and you think, yeah, sure, I'll be able to tackle this, no worries. And you just get caught up, but you keep pulling on that thread and you keep going until you succeed and then learn something new. And really overcoming that challenge is just like an amazing feeling.
That's so good to hear. Great. Andy, what are your thoughts? What's your favorite part?
I have to go with the community. It's such a great community that the Holiday Hack seems to inspire. And I know that obviously, we spoke about there being quite a lot of like hints and tips within the game itself. Some of the, the elves within the game can give hints, but between players as well, just watching some of that communication and taking part in that communication between player to player, just to see other people helping others. It's just great, right? And I always get an amazing smile upon my face when I'm chatting with someone on the Discord and trying to help them through a particular puzzle where the hints haven't quite clicked in their head yet, and just trying to provide just a little bit of a nudge without giving the game away too much, without spoiling the fun of it. And then suddenly, seeing the message, aha, and they've got it. And it's just such a great feeling to be able to share in that aha moment with someone who on the other side of the world. You have no idea who they are, but the challenge really brings people together to learn and to share learnings like that.
That's great. Andy mentioned the Discord channel again, And there's a lot of collaboration that happens in there. And we love it when people work together and help each other out. Now, there's a really cool, if you've never used Discord before, this can be your first chance to use it, right? I mean, sign up for it. It's really easy. You get in there and you start chatting. We have a different chat room for each of the challenges, so you can jump into that particular channel and start talking with people about that challenge. The other thing that folks like Andy do who help people in that is they'll redact part of their answer. Hey, how do I do this? Well, first and then if you do like pipe, a little vertical, then you type stuff and then pipe. People can't see the stuff in between there. It's redacted unless they click on it. So that way, if you don't want hints, if you don't want spoilers, just don't click on those things in Discord. So this gives you an opportunity to use Discord. But Chris LG, I have this question. Both Jai and Andy said that, collaboration, community is their favorite piece of this. Brenda had talked about how that's how she first got involved in her classroom environment. But what if somebody's just plain shy? Okay. And maybe they haven't used Discord before. They don't really, want to jump into that. What do you think? I mean, how could they use Holiday Hack Challenge to kind of, move their career forward? But maybe they're, again, more on the shy side.
I think it's a pretty safe space. Like you said, you can use a pseudonym. You can hop in and play around, and you can always be a lurker, right? You can join the Discord and never post anything and just read whatever you're interested in reading. But I think I feel like we make it a safe enough place that even the I don't know, walliest wallflower can come in, be comfortable, and have some fun, learn some things.
That's cool. That's really good. So one of the things that we really like to do in Holiday Hack is to make it whimsical. In fact, I push the team really hard. Sometimes we'll be working on a challenge, and Chris LG knows this, and I'll say, this is nice. I like what you've done. Technically, it's great, but it needs more whimsy. And I'm sure, Chris, you can vouch for this. People on the team love when I tell them it has to have more whimsy, right? They respond really. Go ahead.
You actually shipped us buckets of whimsy just to make sure we had
did. So for everybody on the team, last year for the holiday season, I bought them a little bucket of whimsy so they could just sprinkle that into Holiday Hack when they win. So what I'd like to ask each person on here, maybe we'll start with Brenda. What is your most memorable or favorite whimsical aspect of Holiday Hack? And it could be maybe a particular character. It could be a particular Easter egg that you found. There's Easter eggs. We should talk about that in a little bit. Maybe it's a particular graphical flair or some silly thing. There's lots of little jokes and humor in there. What was your favorite part of whimsy, Brenda, in Holiday Hack? Or maybe it's a song. I mean, what do you think?
Well, it's a combination of things. I think the first part is the ability to put an avatar together that sort of makes it very fun. Your avatar is divided into different parts, and you can make it look very unique as you're going around. And of course, the humor, it really hits a good spark with me, because as you're going along, you've got Santa, the first one, depending where Santa is, and you get introduced to Santa. When I first did when I first did Kringle by myself, because I was telling everybody, come do this, and they was like, no, and then I did it, and then I showed everybody, then everybody wanted to be in it. I had to sort of like fumble my way around, going, how does this work? Click, 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 like I do in my everyday job. And for me, Santa was a good one, but I think the elves, I mean, there was all these little nuggets as you're going along, and the elves' names. I actually went and did a Google search to figure out how many elf names are there. And you guys have done so much work in the background to make you really taken that whole Santa story to a next level. And I didn't even know that half these elves existed until KrinkleCon. So from that aspect, and you're not only cybersecurity, but you're doing some sort of historical research and building your knowledge. And it's just for me, I think for me I guess that was the hook for me, because from that day onwards, everybody else, I just like come along, and I said, it's a game, and I said yes, and I said, but it looks for a game for kids. I said, no, this is not for kids. I guarantee you, it can be, but no. And then before you know it, the the families along, and I had one family, and the mum didn't know anything about cybersecurity, and the 14-year-old was doing was teaching his mum about what cybersecurity was all about. And so, yeah, no, I think for me, that makes the game, that makes KringleCon, that makes everything, just that sort of that fun Santa sort of approach.
That was so awesome. You had so many good things to say there, Brenda. I really appreciate it. We do have essentially from about 2016 onward, we've been building on this storyline. Now, every year is written afresh so that if you've never seen the previous years, you can just jump right in. That's fine. But if you have seen the previous years, you'll know that certain of our elves have certain personality quirks, like Alabaster Snowball is very forgetful and dropping things and leaving things behind. This one is, that personality. You also kind of realize that there's a history that spans centuries of the holiday hack universe, right? But again, you don't have to know all that stuff to get a great experience out of it. But if you do play each year, you'll kind of see how these characters are growing and evolving, which is kind of fun. And then the other thing Brenda mentioned is, people who play together as a family. I know of many families where they'll have maybe the parent is working on the cybersecurity challenges, and then they'll have kids as young as 5 or 10 years old, and the kids are playing the video game pieces to retrieve the assets like forensics analysis files and this and that they can then hand off to the parents or guardians to play. But back on the whimsical aspects of it, Jai, what is your most favorite or memorable whimsical aspect? It can be general, like Brenda did, or even very particular. What do you think?
That is a very hard one to pinpoint down. I think there's so many amazing Easter eggs that you guys throw in there that I don't notice throughout the first, second, or even third playthrough of seeing some of these things. When they hit, or I'm reading someone's write-up and they've pointed it out, I'm like, how did I miss that? Of course. And it's just got these kind of characteristics to it that bring it back to something that I guess people from all different ages can relate to. There always seems to be some Easter egg that someone gets that someone else doesn't and can relate to. I think the music's fantastic. So I'd say my favorite song is probably "I'm the Real Santa," because it has this surfy summer vibe to it, which is what I would correlate in Australia to being the holiday season, whereas everywhere else it's cold and snowy. Here, 40-degree Celsius, I might add, because we've got Celsius here, very hot days at the beach. So, I definitely think that there's that. But something that I quite liked was becoming Santa Claus. That aspect just threw this extra curveball into the game and had this really fun feel about it, I guess.
Yeah. That was Holiday Hack 2020, I believe, where you could actually, once you got into the game, there was this magical portal, and if you jumped through it, you became Santa. And all of the elves thought you were Santa, and they would talk to you like you were Santa. You had Santa's fingerprints, so there was a fingerprint reader, and if you're Santa, you can go in, right? So that was a fun little twist. And that song, "I'm the Real Santa," was one of my favorites too. Do you guys know? Here's a quiz question for you. If you look at streaming, streaming, we stream all these Holiday Hack songs. They're available for free download as MP3s, so you can just download them and keep them yourself. So it's a free album. Or if you listen on Spotify or Amazon Music or wherever else, Apple Music, they're on all the different streaming services. Do you know? It's a quiz for you, pop quiz. The #1 most streamed Holiday Hack Challenge song of all time? I'll give you a hint. Oh, LG knows because I told him. It was from Holiday Hack 2020, and it wasn't "I'm the Real Santa Claus," which was a great song. It was not Mary Ellen's song from that year, "I Wish I Could Be Santa Claus," but instead, Chris LG, it was
a Josh Scotus classic.
It was "Is That You, Santa Claus?" And I think it's the horns. The horns of that one are just so good in the background. But that's the #1 streaming, and Ninjalas are up there too. Just really, really good stuff. So let's see. When it comes to whimsical stuff, who Andy? Did I ask you whimsical stuff? Your favorite?
Not yet. No. And it's a tricky one, right? Because there's so much whimsy.
Too much
overflowing with whimsy. I think there's a couple there. I mean, the overall storylines associated with the holiday hack are, whimsical, silly at points, right? But that's part of the fun of it. I particularly enjoyed last year where Santa was running Santa's KringleCon with lots of security related talks, and Jack Frost decided to run FrostFest, and a competing cybersecurity conference, and just completely ripped off all of the talks that are being presented at KringleCon. And the fact that you could go to the FrostFest and you could watch those talks, and visibly you could there's an overlay that made it look like they'd been recorded with a shaky camcorder and then replayed, just complete bootleg stuff. Just that level of silliness, I think, is great. It just adds that whimsy, right? But then behind all of this kind of silly story, there's some, particularly when you get to the more later levels or more later challenges, there's some real serious, meaty kind of challenges there that are just great fun. Also, there's a few slightly more silly challenges. I must say, one of my most memorable challenges that has a lot of that whimsy was, I think, from 2020, where there's a dial-up modem that you need to connect, and I'm old enough to remember the wonderful sounds of the dial-up modem, and that's what was being played as part of this challenge. You had to try and get them in the right order, but it wasn't just a recording of a dial-up modem. No, of course, some folks from the Holiday Hack team had used their own voices and their own mouths to create these really silly versions of the dial-up tones. Even now, I just hear that birdie brr in my head. Whoever did that sound effect, you are living rent-free in my brain forever.
Oh, that is so awesome. We'll pass that on to the voice artists. We do have voice artists each year, and really a whole bunch of different artists. There's the musicians we've talked about, but we have a character artist named Annie Royal. She's from the UK. She does great work. She drew our Santa Claus and our elves and such. We've got voice artists, a whole bunch of different folks do that. I do some of the voices. I did the spaceship landing last year. That was me. We have, we have layout artists that do a lot of our marketing stuff. We have copy artists, people who just, write prose for us, including LG, who writes a lot of our prose. Thank you for that, Chris. And Michelle Peterson, who introduced us on this whole thing. Michelle writes a lot of the prose for our public communications. So there's a lot of people that are putting things together: poets, artists, graphical artists, layout artists, musicians, voice artists, a lot of people working on a volunteer basis. And also with regard to the Easter eggs and the whimsy that we've been talking about, we do have a strict rule within Holiday Hack Challenge. Jai had mentioned that, hey, he might not see an Easter egg or interpret a pun the first time through, but maybe the second time through or third time through, he sees it and laughs. Or maybe he'll read the write-up of someone else, because you can read, once it's after the closing period. This year it's going to be January 6th, 2023. People post their write-ups and you can read them. And maybe you'll pick up on an Easter egg or something that you missed then. But we do have a rule in Holiday Hack Challenge: all Easter eggs have to be approved, because we don't want something that is so subtle that only a very small number of people even understand what it means. So people are chasing their tail saying, what is this? What is this? What is this? And also, we really strive to make Holiday Hack Challenge family friendly, so that, nothing is offensive, nothing hits the wrong way. And we're very careful on that, because, different people interpret things in different ways. But sometimes somebody will write something and they don't mean it to be offensive, but if you look at it in a certain way, it might sound, ooh, that doesn't sound quite right, doesn't hit the right note. So we carefully vet all that stuff. LG's smiling, because sometimes LG and I will, hey, does that mean what you think it means? He's like, oh, I didn't think it meant that. Or he says the same thing back to me. It's like, do you realize you could interpret this way? I'm like, oh, darn it, you're right. But LG, what's your favorite point of whimsy in the game? Besides the narrative that you write.
Other than the things I create. No. I think, to me, actually, my favorite thing is the storyline itself behind the 2016 Holiday Hack, where, I think it's 2016, where Doctor Who goes back in time and kidnaps Santa Claus to prevent the making of the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Of course.
Which was just terrible. But but I thought that was such a creative use of plot there. That really I still think it's funny.
That's cool. You know, one of the things that I really like about the plots is there's usually some curveball in there. There's usually something that's like, well, I didn't see that coming. Like suddenly you become Santa Claus, or suddenly you realize, you know, this was Holiday Hack 2018, that you think, you know, it's the Die Hard movie and Hans Gruber is the evil villain because he's controlling, you know, all of this activity that happens. But then when you get to the very end, Santa Claus says, actually, I hired Hans to do this. It turns out it's actually the Willy Wonka movie, and Willy Wonka hired Slugworth. You thought you were in Die Hard, you're actually in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So we usually try to put in some sort of head fake, like what's really happening. Or even last year's, you know, you get to the very end and you realize Jack Frost is an alien from the planet Frost, and the trolls are fellow Frostians, and they're actually related to the elves. So we usually try to throw in something there like, huh, how about that? Right? So kind of fun stuff. I'd like to move on next and talk about the challenges themselves. You know, maybe we'll start with the easy challenges. You know, Andy mentioned the modem. It was one of our easier challenges. You just had to emulate by clicking little buttons, you know, a modem handshake. But from the easy challenges over all the years, what was your favorite easy challenge? And I'll let you just volunteer and answer. And who wants to answer that one?
I really enjoyed the key challenge. I can't remember which year that was, where you had to actually work out the key, and that was a lot of fun because we had everybody trying to figure out, and then we had people download Adobe,
Yeah.
and then and then they did some research in the type of keys, and you know, I think the easiest, that was one of the easiest ones that we've done, but was also the one of the most fun.
I'm glad you brought that one up. That was Holiday Hack 2019, which was hosted at Elf University, ElfU. And the idea there is there was essentially, it was sort of a janitor kind of walking around in game, and Krampus, he was based on Krampus, the janitor. And hanging from his waist, he had a key. So there's this tiny little image of a key, but if you clicked on it, it zooms in. And a lot of people don't realize this. If you have the image of a key, you can measure the teeth, and they're just a number between, I think, 1 and 5 or 0 and 5. And then we actually had a key grinding machine in the game, a virtual one. So you'd walk up to the key grinding machine, you would dial in the numbers associated with the key that you analyzed, and it would go bzz, ding. It was my voice, actually. And it would make that key for you. So now you had the physical key, so you could go and you'd have to slide the key into the lock, and it would turn, and then you'd get in. So what we were trying to teach there is don't let people take pictures of your keys, because if they take pictures of your keys, they have your keys and can make your keys. So, and if people would send us emails saying, oh my gosh, I had no idea. So never post pictures of your like home keys online or something like that. So that was a fun one, Brenda.
But from that, what's happened, we have a little bit of a joke. So every time somebody goes, we share like sort of through our little group chat. So every time somebody goes away and they have some sort of hotel key, they will take a photo and then share it with everybody and go, look, I have a key. Yes. We can break in for next time. Free accommodation.
That is so good. And we really do try to kind of share that knowledge, some interesting and subtle things we've seen in Holiday Hack, and make some challenges based on that. So who's next? What else from an easier challenge perspective that you found memorable, interesting, useful in your lives? Jai?
Yes. So the thing that's still burned into my brain from last year is literally the first mission, where all you have to do is type what the computer tells you to do. But before you get that, you gave me a shiny Wi-Fi adapter to play with. So before I've even got out of the start gate to get into the levels, I'm spending half an hour like, I have to use this Wi-Fi adapter to do something. Absolutely incorrect. I'm just wasting my time here.
That was like a third of the way into the game you had to use it, not right at the start.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like right at the start off the gate. But outside of that, I think I quite liked the Holiday Hack Trail in 2019.
Yeah.
where because that had easy, medium, and hard difficulties. So as far as an easy challenge goes, you're able to kind of pick up on the first thing, but then it gradually implements more security measures to prevent you from doing some of the easier exploits. So I feel like that progressed in a way that was quite useful and quite notable for people.
I love hearing that. I'll actually pass that comment along to the author of Holiday Hack Trail. Maybe you've met him. His name is Chris Elgie. So Chris, great work. Jai's a fan. How about that? So Andy, do you have another easy challenge that you'd like to draw people's attention to? Just not that they'll play this challenge again, but so they know that there are easy challenges that are kind of fun and whimsical.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm going to call up that dial-up modem again, because that was really simple. It was really fun. But like many of the challenges within the virtual world, there's multiple ways of solving this. Yeah, the super easy way of solving that challenge would be to go look on YouTube for some video that had a recording of the dial-up sound, and just kind of through maybe even like a process of trial and error, you can get the right combination. Okay, fine. Or you can hit F12, enter hacking mode, right? You can look at the source code of the web application, and you can see what happens when you click on each of these things. Oh, it adds a particular bit of string to this variable, and hold on a second, I can reverse engineer the challenge through the web page. And so that provides another way of solving the same challenge. And for me, the challenges that have the combination, right, of various different ways of solving it, and as Jai mentioned, some of them have like an easy, medium, hard mode associated with that as well, to me just really helps make it enjoyable, give multiple different options for someone to solve a challenge depending on what they happen to be more or less familiar with through maybe some of their previous skills or previous education.
That's a brilliant point, Andy, because really we do try to make all of our challenges solvable in multiple ways, even the ones that are sort of physical challenges. There's, like the key attack that Brenda cited. There's ways to hack it too, right? And one of my favorites is this. Let me mention this one. This is kind of cool. Jai mentioned earlier about this one challenge where you go in as a character and you have your own avatar. And then once you pass through this portal, it's a portrait of Santa Claus. Once you pass through it, you become Santa Claus. Now, we had a fingerprint reader, thumbprint reader, whatever it is, outside of Santa's office. Now, you can't get in there when you're just you. You're just a normal character. But once you become Santa Claus, you go up to the fingerprint reader, put your fingerprint on there. You're Santa Claus, so you get in. But to win the game, you had to actually go from Santa Claus back to your normal character, and you still had to get into Santa's office. But your fingerprint doesn't work anymore. So now you're going to have to hack the fingerprint reader. So that was one where we had a physical challenge where you have to get somebody's fingerprint by becoming Santa Claus. I suppose we could have put something in there where you use tape or something to clone the fingerprint, but we just let you become Santa Claus. But then later in the game, you had to hack your way into the office through the fingerprint reader. So...
And I like that there's the unintentional kind of hacks as well.
It happens.
Yeah, and I mean, the challenge that I submitted for Holiday Hack last year, that it was the first time I was writing a challenge. And I thought, as I was developing it, I needed some debug statements in there. So I included some bits in, and I thought, maybe I'll just leave a little bit of that functionality hidden away, just in case I need to debug it during the live event. And I should have really expected it, but halfway through the event, someone says, oh yeah, I've managed to decompile the binary and I found these extra commands and they do this. It's like, congratulations, you have found a unintended way of solving this one, but good on you, because hey, that's great cyber skill regardless, right?
That's so cool. That's cool. LG, what's your favorite easy challenge from the
I think the ones where you escape an editor are a lot of fun.
Oh yes.
Where there's one. The first I think was escape VI.
Yeah.
And it's just :Q enter, and that was the whole thing. That was the whole challenge. But or :Q bang, right? If you made it.
Yep, that's right. Yep. We had escape VI, escape Ed was one, escape Emacs was another one. Each one in subsequent years. Just how do you get out of these darn editors, right? One of my favorites was escape Ed. of course. So that's cool. Well, and then Brenda, you mentioned another one just in the chat. You want to share that with folks? One of your favorite challenges from I think it was 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 2020. I think that's when COVID hit. And
Yeah.
then our little group became an online adventure.
Mhm.
The one where you sort of enter in and you had this massive sort of billboard by the tram, and then they had to sort of try and figure out what is the hidden message inside of this in this photograph. And it was really easy for anyone. So you didn't have to have any sort of super coding skills or work out how to use a Linux terminal. All you had to work out is if you had some sort of knowledge of how to expand and do maybe graphical background or graphical experience. And it was really easy. It was a good start for a person with absolutely no skill in cybersecurity. And once they got that, they got hooked because they suddenly got that tick that I've done something. And then they were like, okay, I want to do the next one. And it was really interesting to see, they sort of grow and get sort of drawn into that whole game, because that first one was challenging, but yet easy to solve.
That's great. And that is what the team is trying to do. So thanks for mentioning that, Brenda. Okay, quick fire answer for this one. Which of our holiday supervillains, we've had several over the last few years, is your favorite? I mean, we've mentioned a few here. Somebody mentioned Jack Frost. Chris LG mentioned Doctor Who was our villain a few years ago. There have been many others. I don't want to name them all because I don't want to, push you guys in a certain direction. But maybe start with Andy. What was your favorite supervillain?
Absolutely, Jack Frost.
Yeah,
that audacity to steal everyone's videos, and also then the gift shop as you try to leave the building. Amazing.
Yeah, so you walk in a door, and then if you turn around and walk out the door, you're still going through the gift shop every time. So Jack Frost was such a memorable one. He appeared in 2 holiday hack challenges, 2020 and 2021. And actually, there was some intimation about him the year before in 2019. I don't know if you remember that, but he worked with the Tooth Fairy in the background. So, Jai, what was your favorite?
Well, I was going to say it's quite easy to go down the path of Jack Frost, and I admit, he is a favorite of mine out there. But I was going to say the Tooth Fairy,
Nice.
because it caught me off guard. The story with that caught me off guard. I'm sitting there going, "This Krampus guy, he's bad news."
Yes.
I can tell by his name. I'm an investigator. Oh no, absolutely not the case. It's the Tooth Fairy got me at the end there, right?
That was another head fake where we made you think it was Krampus because he's kind of creepy and weird, and then you follow him down into the steam tunnels, and he turns into your best friend. Yeah, that was fun. Brenda, who's your favorite villain?
I sort of was introduced with Jack Frost, and he stayed with me for all the Kringles to come after. And your first experience is really hard to you got to do something really exceptional to beat that. And I guess that will always be the winner for me. I mean, all villains are great in some way, but Jack Frost would always be sort of close to my heart in that respect.
That's so cool. I love hearing that. Mr. LG, is it Doctor Who for you, or is it another? What do you think?
Doctor Who was definitely my favorite crime, but I think my favorite villain would be my first, and that was Cindy Lou Who, in part because the way she was revealed was you get this scrambled image, and you had to keep layering in these keys over it to gradually clarify it and see that, oh my gosh, that's Cindy Lou Who.
This has been so fun just talking about this with you guys. So we had Cindy Lou Who. We had Doctor Who. We were on this whole Who thing. So 2015 was Cindy Lou Who. 2016 was Doctor Who. 2017 was Glinda the Good Witch. 2018 was Hans Gruber. Or was it Santa Claus? Or I don't know, because Hans Gruber seemed like the bad guy until you realized he was just doing Santa's work. So maybe there was no villain that year. And then, of course, we had the Tooth Fairy in 2019 and Jack Frost in 2020 and 2021. I've got news for you folks. In 2022, Jack Frost is gone. Jack Frost will not be back. And when you hop into that world, his tower's gone too. And you will find, if you talk with some of the the elves and such, you'll find out what happened to his tower. But there's a whole new villain this year, bent on a whole new thing of destruction. So, so let's talk a little bit about 2023. LG is currently working on making 2023. So I'm going to call on you last, Chris, okay, for this question. You have to very carefully think about your answer to this so that you say something interesting and meaningful, but without giving anything away that would upset me. But Andy, Jai, Brenda, each of you have an open field for answering this question. What are you most looking forward to, or do you think is going to happen in the 2022 game? Now, please understand, we've been working on the 2022 game for over a year now, right? I've been working on 2023 for the last month. So it's hard for me to remember what happened in 2022 because I'm spending most of my time thinking about 2023. But for the 2022 game, maybe we go with Andy. Andy, you look very thoughtful right now. We go with you first. What are you most looking for? You can make anything up, but what are you most looking forward to, or what do you think is going to happen?
What is going to happen? I have no idea. Let's face it, every single year, the story is just so innovative. It's so unpredictable. I mean, quite literally anything could happen, right? So what's going to happen? No idea. Really looking forward to finding out, though. What am I personally most looking forward to? Well, probably the same as most years. It's learning something new, to be challenged, to go through that kind of occasional process of frustration, only to then have success and happiness at the end of it.
That's so good. Thank you. You do realize the subtext of my question. The subtext of my question is, what should we put in 2024, right? Because 2023, I mean, the storyline's pretty much baked. So I'm just asking you for new leads here, okay? So Jai, what do you think is going to happen in 2022? And I ask you so you can help inspire 2024.
Well, I feel like we've got this theme going with Holiday Hack Challenge, right? In the first, and forgive me, if someone can help me here, the song that's going along, like four white doves, five golden rings.
This year's 5 golden rings. 5 golden rings. What could that possibly mean? I have no idea.
I feel like there's a Lord of the Rings thing coming on. I feel like there's something to do with Mordor, and they've got to take these challenges, and I honestly, I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like it's something to do with rings here, and there might be an Eye of Sauron challenge.
5 golden rings. How about that? You are very clever. Very clever. That's all I'll say about that. Excellent. No, that is cool stuff. We've been waiting 5 years. There was KringleCon, then KringleCon 2 turtle doves, KringleCon 3 French hens, KringleCon 4 calling birds. We're up to KringleCon 5 golden rings. Enough said, Mr. Tolkien. Brenda, what do you think 2022 holds?
Well, I actually look forward to what's going to happen. What is that first present when you go through into the virtual world and then suddenly presented with the North Pole? What is that going to be this year? And I was thinking as I'm progressing through my skill levels, I'm thinking like, what are the type of challenges that I'd like to look forward to in the future, especially for 2024? So maybe something like with the rings, something related to the Winter Olympics, and which you've sort of got to ski your way through. All the athletes will have their sort of key passes, and so you've got to sort of like hack into the key pass and try and steal an athlete's medal. I don't know, just a lot of fun, I guess. That's in that cool. Area.
I like it.
But yeah, I have no idea what this year. I'm really excited because you know it's going to be Santa. It's going to be the North Pole. There's going to be some elves there. You don't know if all the elves are going to show up, or some of them are going to be on sort of sick leave. And then you're trying to anticipate what are the type of challenges that you're going to face. I mean, you guys do such a great job with working out the type of challenges and making sure that all the back end works. And there's little terminals that you can sort of work your way through, and then you exit out when you have complete failure. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, if Jai, if you hit it on the nail with the Lord of the Rings, good job. I haven't got a clue what you got planned, but I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. That's great, Brenda. I really appreciate your input. I'll make some notes of that for 2024. And Jai's putting some stuff in the chat right now. I told you, Jai, you are a very bright person. That's really quite intuitive of you. Chris Algie, so you've had plenty of time to think about how to answer this question without upsetting me. So what would you care to say about what you anticipate to see in Holiday Hack 2022?
Well, Bob, I mean, Ed, I think I'm always, maybe it's because I'm so bad at like visual art, but I'm always looking forward to see what Evan Booth creates.
Yes.
He builds the play, you know, the walk around world, and I'm looking forward to seeing his artwork and maybe anything new he might do with the user interface this year.
Exactly. Evan does such great work. I'm glad you mentioned him. He's the one who creates these worlds and draws them, and also writes all the software that makes the video game aspect of it work. And, you know, Brenda said earlier, one of the cool things that she really enjoys is that from a whimsical perspective is the ability to make your avatar. And then Brenda said, and your avatar has three parts, right? You know, there's the head, and then the torso, and then the body, or the bottom, right? And when she said that, my first thought was, oh, just wait. 3 parts? You might see something different associated with your avatar this year that might be kind of interesting. So anyway, there's going to be plenty of fun and mayhem coming up. We launch every year the second week of December. Some of you may be watching this before the second week of December. Hey, that's great. You can practice using the previous years, right? Just go to sans.org/holidayhack. sans.org/holidayhack. After launch, which will be the second week of December, if you go to sans.org/holidayhack, you will see the 2022 version. We're going to run that through January 6th. We leave them up beyond that, though. We always have 3 years of Holiday Hack Challenge up. So we're going to have Holiday Hack Challenge 2019, 2020, and 2021. They're up right now. And they've been up, I mean, for up to 3 years each, right? And then 2022 is going to launch. And then after January 6th, we're going to retire 2019. So you'll still have 2020, 2021, and 2022 that run year round. So if you're needing some Santa Claus or like some cyber practice in July, come to sans.org/holidayhack. We'll do that. I'd like to thank some folks for putting this thing together. We're winding down here, folks. But thank you to all of our panelists here. This was delightful. You guys really, I think you made me smile. I think you made each other smile. And I hope you made our watchers and viewers and listeners here smile too. Thanks for sharing your insight. Thanks for being part of the Holiday Hack community. Each of you has done really incredible stuff within the Holiday Hack world. You know, Brenda as like the super ultra concierge. The game went down a couple years ago, and it was Brenda's, I don't know, first or second time playing. And she, in the middle of the night, but she's in Australia, so the middle of the night, our time, the game went down for a little while, and Brenda did an impromptu nerd trivia contest, and people loved it. So thank Brenda, you rock. Andy's done those great videos all of these years. And, you know, last year, he kind of volunteered to be our Kringle trainer, Kringle concierge trainer. So he trained all the other concierges and how to do their stuff. Jai, you've always done such amazing work in Holiday Hack. When you implemented that video game based on our video game, when that first came in, the whole team was like, oh my goodness, look at this. We're sitting around each person as we played your game based on our game. And, you know, LG, you know, I got to know you starting back in 2015. You played Holiday Hack. You did incredible work. And then you joined the team. What was it? I'm got it on my list here. September 4th, 2018. And you instantly jumped into leadership over Holiday Hack and writing such great stuff and coordinating challenge development. Literally, my hat's off to you. So I thank you, Chris, for that. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Michelle, for introducing this thing. And actually, I believe this whole thing was Michelle's idea. So Michelle Peterson, you rock. Remember, everybody, sans.org/holidayhack. And we'll see you at the North Pole. Thank you.